to power, we want to just hurt innocents and destroy everything, and then burn your body and shoot it into the atmosphere. And we're not going to stop till we kill everyone, and we'll finally just annihilate humanity. And you're like, wow, Orwell, this is really whacked out. He was a British secret police officer in India. Then he ran away and was like a communist and did all this stuff. Then he went and fought in the Spanish Civil War, highly decorated. Then he went and ran propaganda in World War II in OSS at the BBC. And then he ran off, wrote that book, thought people were trying to kill him, and died 6 months after it was published. And I've read his white papers. He totally woke up to realize that communism was the ultimate evil and run by the elite. So we're going to go to a few of your calls and go to Mr. Bracken. I'm going to go to your calls, bam, 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 so make your point, jump to the next person. But this is an epic time to be alive. We're now 2 hours plus into Operation Sleeping Giant. We're going until 3 p.m. tomorrow live, Infowars.com/giant. And we've got the biggest specials in our history. I keep saying every few months, this is the biggest ever because they're getting bigger and bigger. 40% off Brain Force. We've got a bunch of other specials I'll tell you about, but they did run out at My Patriot Supply, now the biggest storable foods manufacturer in the country. They've only been around 8 years. They're the biggest because they have the best prices, highest quality. They consolidated a bunch of top Mormon companies that are the best at it up in Utah. Very clean, quality food. We private label it to go even lower than even they do to get around their contracts with other distributors. That's the kind of business guy I am. I figure out ways to go even lower because I want to dominate the market. I want to fund ourselves and give you a great deal. Win-win. They are back ordered a couple weeks. Okay? Now, in most places, it's months and months, but they usually aren't. That's how fresh it is. But I twisted their arm. They said, look, only 24 hours, Alex, and that's it. And we will accelerate it just for you because you're our #1 seller worldwide. 20 to 40% off, depending on which food packages it is. The InfoWars Select Storable Food, the InfoWarsStore.com, 24 hours only. Like they only said 24 hours, so I had to wait 2 hours to launch it because it has to end tomorrow. Has to end tomorrow at this time. Okay, because, I mean, they can get in a lot of contractual issues with that. But if you want to take advantage of that and get ready, InfoWarsStore.com. Okay, that's how we fund this operation. Let's go to Tom in England. Tom, thank you for holding it on the air worldwide.
Hi, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for going to me expeditiously. I do appreciate it. And good luck with your marathon broadcast.
Thank you.
I wanted to make a point about the false flag attacks that have happened to San Bernardino, Orlando, Paris. Now, I'm going to say something controversial and say that these were not Islamic terror attacks. They were establishment terror attacks with an Islamic label on it. And let me just explain why that's pretty clear. I find it fantastically unlikely that they're going to bring people in who are likely to do attacks and let them get on with it. Because that takes away the fine control over when it happens, how many people are killed, how intense it is, what it distracts. But, you know, there are a myriad factors.
Sure, but the globalists aren't all powerful. The false flag is that they're letting in people from radical regions who they know are terrorists, in many cases that have already committed crimes, to use that to bring in a civil emergency. I believe it's a false flag, but way upriver, where it's starting from. But, I mean, you can't deny that if you bring in 5 million people from radical Wahhabist areas, that you're going to get some terror attacks.
Well, what I'm saying is, that isn't the way that the establishment does things, and it never has been. They use professional operators to commit the attack, and then they put up patsies, and then the patsies die. And that's what's happened in all of these attacks. We've had patsies. You've had Joel Skousen on.
Okay, but let me ask you this question. are the Wahhabists murdering Christians en masse in Syria?
They certainly have done, yes.
Sure. I appreciate your call. Look. When NORAD stands down and the head of the embassy tries to block 15 of the hijackers coming in, they're told to stand down, and the FBI comes out and says we were ordered to stand down, and you got all these weird drills going on, something went on. It's not the whole government, but something went on. And the deal with Saudi Arabia was take the blame partially, we'll attack Iraq and take them out. But it doesn't mean there isn't radical Islam is what I'm getting at. I'm going to go to more of your phone calls here real fast because I've got to go to our guest Bracken, start the next segment because I want to get into all this with him. We'll get his take on it as well. Let's go ahead and talk to Chris in Georgia. Go ahead.
Yes, hello, Alice. How are you?
Good, sir. Go ahead.
All right, just 3 quick questions. Do you think Putin is a traitor to the New World Order? Is Pence against it? And It said that Trump has black employees moved out of sight when he comes to one of his places. It said
Yeah, for
that,
some reason, your phone to me is just distorted. You said, is Trump, just back off your phone a bit, is Trump a traitor to the New World Order? Absolutely. Russia still has globalist tentacles in it. And I'm not saying Russia's perfect in and of itself, but Putin is fighting the globalists, fighting the New World Order. They've got programs to have kids, programs for the family. They openly talk about it on air. Now, what was your second question?
My last two questions were is Pence against the New World Order? And it said that Trump has...
Yeah, I don't think Pence is perfect. He's a lot better than Kaine, and he needs him to be able to run both sides of the aisle, so he's got him in there as a technician. It's all on Trump to make sure that he continues his policies once he gets in. What was the third?
It said that Trump has black employees moved out of sight when he comes to one of his places. It said that he was sued by the Justice Department for refusing housing to blacks. I'm black and support Trump.
No, listen, I hear you. Listen, the Justice Department sues everybody who's got more than 20, 30 employees. The EEOC runs around and all these groups, and then people who make professional money out of claiming they got kicked out of an apartment or something because they were a minority. That's a whole business of ambulance chasing. The guy owns hundreds of buildings. That is just crazy. Now, that's the kind of fables they put out. Like I had a guy call in and go, Putin's banning evangelicals in Russia. He's letting every Christian group in, do whatever they want. I said, where's your proof? Oh, I don't have any. I just heard that. It's bull. It's bull. Trump is known as being more inclusive than anybody. That's always been his trademark, both in management and who he hires and who he employs. He wants the job done. So, again, this is the kind of stuff they put these rumors out that have no facts or no information behind them. Now, I'm going to go to Sean, and I'm going to go to Patrick, and I'm going to go to Ben and Ethan and Christian. But first, we've got our guest coming on after the break, Matt Bracken, to get into the fact that, as he said a few months ago, he said it's going up exponentially, or is logarithmically the term, where you get an attack every month, now it's an attack every week, then it's an attack every day, now it's an attack every 6 hours. What is the whole point of this? I've got stacks of these attacks. Young Welsh girls held in boxes, threatening to murder people at nudist beaches or pools, murders, bombings, killings, shootings, beheadings, and the media changes the name from Ali to David, or won't say it's Islamic when they pledge allegiance to Al-Qaeda or ISIS and scream, Allah, Allah, Akbar, snack bar. All of this stuff is going on. What's the larger plan? All this and more straight ahead. It's Operation Awaken the Sleeping Giant. Infowars.com/giant. Have you spread that link? Joining us a little bit in the next hour is Matt Bracken. To see the full schedule of who's going to be on the next 25-plus hours we have left to broadcast in this special marathon live transmission at Infowars.com/giant. And yes, we don't call it a money bomb, but it's a fundraiser. You can make straight donations if you want. Great products, from water filters to non-GMO seeds to storable foods to shortwave radios to Hillary for President shirts and Molon Labe shirts. And it's all about funding, getting the truth out, and getting high-quality products. But I'm going to stop right there. Matt Bracken, again, is a best-selling author, enemiesforeignanddomestic.com, former Navy SEAL, patriot, very humble guy, but a lot of smart folks in the Pentagon said, look, we can't tell you the stuff we know. Just get Matt Bracken on. That's very accurate. And, I mean, here we are. You were on months ago saying, watch it become exponential. It is becoming exponential. We'll go over 3 or 4 attacks a day now with them saying they don't know why the guy cut the priest's head off, even though he pledged allegiance to ISIS, changing the name from Ali to David on one of the bombers, saying a Muslim was blown up by a bomb when the Muslim blows himself up. I mean, this is beyond 1984 level disinformation. What is the establishment doing? What phase is this? Matt Bracken.
Well, I would call this maybe the great treason. We're seeing something that I've never could have imagined before in Europe and in America. Sometimes I think of this 1930s example. Imagine if FDR had ordered J. Edgar Hoover to scrub all mentions of Nazis, Gestapo, Himmler, Hitler, and drop all investigations involving Germans. And any time that there was a German involved in espionage, it had to go through a special German-American Bund liaison that would be provided to the FBI. And then imagine the FBI agreeing to all these terms, purging, scrubbing, etc. Well, that's actually happened. So at the Department of Homeland Security, Customs, Border Patrol, FBI, they're in the tank. Over in Europe, we can see the terrible math for the police. In Munich, one shooter with a Glock 17, although there were reports of long guns, a lot of times these are, like in Dallas, like in Baton Rouge, people are making concurrent reports from different directions. They get picked up as multiple shooters. So we really don't know. But assuming it was that one guy with a Glock 17 and 300 rounds of ammo, allegedly he bought that on the internet. I doubt it. In Europe, please. Somebody handed him a Glock 17 and 300 rounds. That's the key, is the somebody that handed it to him. But it took all 3,000 police and military that they had. They were bringing people in from other German states. 3,000 to react to one pistol shooter who was dead. They found out was dead. They just didn't find his body for a few hours while this panic went on. Subway system closed down. People leaving the city like it was under attack from aliens. Now imagine when a Mumbai with multiple shooters, or a Paris Bataclan with multiple teams of shooters roaming around, shooting up a place, then hiding their guns, fleeing with the refugees, and then rinse, repeat. We saw in Dallas and Baton Rouge, the police can't even protect themselves. They have to call in more police with long guns because the initially responding police become overwhelmed. What happens in this country when we have multiple shooters like the Washington snipers of 10, 15 years ago? Imagine when that's happening every day and the guys aren't suicidal. They just get in their car and drive somewhere else. So we're going to have a big problem, and local law enforcement is going to be in the crosshairs. They're the initial responders, but I'm telling you that there's a huge division and split right now between the feds and local. As we've seen under Obama, the feds are trying to take over all the local law enforcement by having these DOJ bogus investigations.
And now the UN Strong Cities Initiative, the double is going to run them. Have you seen the footage out of Germany where the Islamicist beats up the police for no reason, and they can't even take the guy down? I mean, that just shows the type of social workers they're hiring over there. Because, boy, the German police...
In an airport. And the guy had a satchel. The guy's got a satchel swinging around, which could have been, 4 pounds of TATP or Semtex.
And the Germans will cover it up because that's their order.
Right next to this guy, you'll see in the background running interference are these women in burqas. Now, this is a guy that you need to shoot immediately. That's a deadly force authorized based on that guy having a bag which could have detonated.
Absolutely. A guy starts attacking you in an airport there for no reason, blast him.
And even if he's got nothing in there but a Koran, what he's doing is and we've seen this over and over again, the flying imams after 9/11. Probing. And today they don't have to make a report back to headquarters. The report is the YouTube video which gets shared all around the world. Like, the one guy can tie up 3,000 police officers. You think that other people aren't learning that lesson? So yeah, we're just in the beginning stages of the tech.
So right now they're just probing and getting intelligence.
Right, and using social media to share it. So it's dispersed. There's no central nest. Like if we only found the headquarters in Raqqa and bombed it, that wouldn't make any difference. It's like trying to kill a jellyfish swarm by shooting 10
and
random
our own supposed government is bringing them in. We'll talk about why straight ahead with Matt Bracken. I'm Alex Jones. All right, your phone calls are coming out in about 10 minutes or so with Matt Bracken. I got him on about 20 minutes late because I was taking calls so we can hold him some of the next hour. You are looking here at our live 28-hour broadcast. We are already 2.5 hours into this. So we have 25 hours and change left. Everybody from Billy Corrigan of Smashing Pumpkins to Nigel Farage, the former leader of UKIP, the modern George Washington of Europe, total patriot. All this is coming up and so much more. Our live crew in Philadelphia. I'm not going to belabor this, but it takes money to win a war. We don't have George Soros' $25 billion. We don't get taxpayer money like MSNBC got $3 billion or more, actually. Part of that $5 billion went down to them, to NBC. We don't get $450 million a year like NPR and then beg for money every week. Once a year, we have a super mega sale, and we also have donate buttons to help us kind of gauge if we can hire some more crew or continue running operations like we are. I really want to grow in the face of this. In fact, that's why I've gotten in the position of not even really taking profit at this point in the year, because sure, I need to have some money put back. I need to be able to be secure. I need to be able to handle any unforeseen things like lawsuits or whatever that don't really happen, but knock on wood. Literally, is there any wood around here? But